It's 2026. Anyone still supporting ICE straight up doesn't know how to live with other people. They've decided they don't need to. They're confusing not needing to live with other people for not needing to even know how. And while their Venn diagram is almost a circle, this is a defining feature of ICE enthusiasm rather than being just MAGA. So I tacked this idea onto my last video as an anecdote. A friend responded in a manner we're all too familiar with and perfectly encapsulated the issue. Pause to skim it now. Okay, ready? Let's look at this wider and closer. If you cared about living with other people at all, y'all wouldn't talk the way I've seen y'all talk on the internet. If you thought you'd have to walk past them in your building or on your street or in your grocery store. One of the main conclusions I've come to about this time in US history is that you have to back up and start with the things you think you shouldn't have to explain. And that's just the cost of doing business right now. Try not to feel some type of way about it. Many people, not just MAGA, think we haven't been down these roads as a country because they haven't been down them as individuals. The mythology of this entire country rests on lessons we got from shitty Europe and shitty Britain, from colonialism. Colonialism never cared about living with other people. That's more about living on other people. That's where we got our problem with wanting different sets of rules for different people in the first place. You weren't there for that. We're supposed to listen to our ancestors. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. If you talk to or about people at work the way you talk to or about others online, you'd be ostracized immediately. Immediately. Thus, the behavior of one person destroys the vibe for everyone. And this is how we got HR departments. So, yeah, you probably stop doing it or lose your job, right? Why would you want to make it terrible for yourself by forcing people to have, a negative reaction to this whole, yeah, I do like it. I like it when we hurt your family, friends, and neighbors. I like it. I do like it. Because when lefties say harsh things on this topic, they're still defending and advocating for dignity and equal rights at the end of the day. So why do you make the decision to talk to people like this? What conditions are suddenly absent when being on the internet? You see what I'm saying? So it wouldn't be much of a coincidence at all if the people that you can talk like that around are also the only people that you get support, love, and care from. Those are your people, right? The thing is, that chain of events where you move into this type of shit talking that removes certain social situations from the board, that represents an investment into not living with other people. Even more so than it represents investing in your own community. Do we all understand that that is an inherently judgmental decision-making process? You're playing with synapses here, with the wiring of the brain. Do we all understand that? These things are like paths through the woods, right? The more times you travel it, the easier it gets to travel. And that's how being judgmental turns into becoming entitled. That's how being entitled turns into resentment, like those rules are for them, they're not for me. And that means that the final form of they should have to abide by my rules, that can't be far behind. And we all know what that is. That's called superiority. So of course, this ICE policy is a manifestation of that superiority. And there aren't any numbers or data really to support its efficacy. Not even the nicer way of saying that is supported. Like, you guys know torture doesn't work either, right? That may not even be the worst part, because the ultimate irony here is that you were paying so much attention to the surface reason why we guarantee due process and other rights to people that are here, regardless of their immigration status. You manage to forget that the deeper core reason that we grant those rights to everyone is to protect you too. It's to protect all of us. Both from being conveniently othered by a different group of people who comes to power later and feels entitled to do the same thing to you. God forbid the cycle would stop. And it's also to protect you when you're abroad, so you are less likely to have your rights abused by foreign government. I realize a lot of you don't really understand soft power because it's never occurred to you to use it, but it's been very effective for the US in our history so far. Look, if that wasn't a thing, you'd just get your asses kicked, figuratively and literally, for behaving crappy in another country, and you wouldn't be able to do anything about it. Lo and behold, that's the same reason you don't talk shit on the plebes when they're walking by you on the street. But because of due process, because of that commitment to human rights, y'all as a group will be spared that and never have to learn the hard way. This is the ultimate coddling. This is the ultimate coddling. So I don't want to hear you bitching about welfare or due process or not letting undocumented immigrants die instead of getting medical treatment. Y'all been freeloading. Freeloading your way through the world, and you didn't even know it. Borderline inexcusable. Look, the definition of the word neighborly spins around the golden rule. We humans have been trying to force things to be good for us in a lot of different ways for millennia. It never works even a little bit without some kind of positive reinforcement buy-in from the people. So the reason it seems to you like it's anybody's fault but ours is because you are the only ones making arguments for why the golden rule shouldn't apply to everyone. The simple truth is the real golden rule doesn't stop applying when people are in conflict. And people are going to be in conflict. It's the thing you have to get good at. And the reason you're so averse to conflict, and the reason you are so averse to conflict is because, and here comes the chicken, you've willingly forgotten. You forgot how to live with other people.